I see it on the wall. I know that you collaborated with Kobe a number of times, and the Mamba Mentality is something that is contagious. People, when they're around him, they become relentless. You've kind of had that relentless approach in your career, but what do you have lasting memories of working with Kobe, and maybe what did you learn from working with him?
Ah, man, so many things. It was like 2013 when I first met him to work on Muse. What I remember from the first meeting is that his process of bringing somebody on the team, whether you were the composer or like cutting a trailer, you had to sit down with him at his office and talk about your craft. And he basically was going to have a conversation with you about your craft, but it was really more of a test to see how passionate are you about your craft and how obsessed are you with your craft. And if you are as obsessed with it as he is basketball or whatever else he wanted to learn, then he felt like he could trust you. And that first meeting, he, at the end of the meeting, said, "This is obviously a documentary about my life, but I want you to look at each of these scenes and think about whether or not it reminds you of something in your own life emotionally. And then meditate on that feeling that you have from your own experience and then write from that emotional place, and it'll be great." And so that's something I still carry with me. Also, he had in his mind John Williams as my Michael Jordan, partially because he was a huge John Williams fan. Like, he used to listen to Duel of the Fates before games. He listened to John Williams and Beethoven and like classical music almost more than hip hop in terms of like getting pumped up for athletic endeavors. And he had a friendship with John Williams. Like, Kobe was known for cold calling people and then developing a relationship with them when he was curious about how they approached their craft. And John Williams was one of those people. Because he had that type of obsession with learning, he wanted to make sure that I had that same level of depth of obsession. And so whenever I sent a cue to Kobe, I had to explain to him what I did to get to that cue.
Oh,
it
interesting.
Yeah, it was just like, if I wrote something that I was like, "Oh, I just think this is cool," he was like, "No, not good enough." It was like, I need to understand, like, what did you study? Like, how did you go from what you studied to what you created?
Process.
And it's something that kind of, like you said, spoke to who I felt I already was. It kind of reawoken this. Like, when I went to Juilliard was incredible, but there were a lot of aspects of it that made me feel like my obsession with craft and process was like unique in terms of like how deep I wanted to go with those things. And so working with Kobe just reminded me, like, that's what somebody like him does to get to where he got to. And so going that deep is something that I definitely continue to do because I want to, but also largely to be in his honor.